Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're looking at a new roadmap update. For those of you who may be new coming in after that last patch, we cover roadmap updates and patch notes. We also get in a couple games every week into the upload schedule. If you like No More Room in Hell 2 content, this is the place to get it. Like, follow, subscribe, drop some comments. All of that would be greatly appreciated. Let's jump into this roadmap update. So May's update is being called Reanimation Plus 0.4.1. This is going to be a fairly minor update compared to the big update we just got. Focusing in on difficulty balancing, bug fixes, getting a couple character skills, and 2 more weapons. So the next update is coming soon, somewhere in May. If I were to guess, just based off of past experience, probably within about 2 to 3 weeks, coming in on a Tuesday. And again, they reiterate their goal to focus in on balancing bug fixes, stabilizing the game in preparation of much larger monthly updates to come in the future. So they brought back and updated this roadmap visual, obviously adding in May's Reanimation Plus. We're catching this for the first time. Listing some bug fix focus, difficulty balancing, a Gruber mini ranch rifle with an X12 semi-auto shotgun, many new skills and more, and of course covering all of the previous updates also. So Reanimation Plus is going to come in with over 100 bug fixes across a variety of game areas, making it one of their biggest passes yet. They remind us that the previous update did come with 90 bug fixes in itself, but bringing in many new features also came with its own bugs. So we have 2 new weapons coming in. We have a Rochester X12 Super Shotgun, the 12 gauge Red Devil, a fan favorite from the previous game. It's a semi-auto shotgun, 5-round magazine, and can use the long gun flashlight, hollow sight, and combat optic. We're also going to get a Gruber mini ranch rifle, a ranch rifle that has proven more than adequate for putting down pests of the undead variety. Uses 5.56 with a 10-round magazine. It can attach a rifle suppressor, long gun flashlight, hollow sight, combat optic, and hunting scope. So they're bringing in some more skills for us to use. They gave a couple examples. One's going to be Resident Genes. You heal whenever you use a pill. Lucky Pathogen. You take less damage while infected. I feel like I'm infected all the time, so that might be a big perk for me. Door Breaker. So maybe you can eventually get through those doors. You deal a little bit more damage to those doors and barricades. And saying to expect many more skills too, along with their ultimate upgraded variants. They also plan on doing a major balance pass with all existing skills, which will make a big difference to how you choose to equip your responder skill sets. All of which sounds great. I know that I feel like I only have like a certain couple skills that I really want. There's quite a few skills that I almost like never want to see, would never even consider using. Hopefully more balance will give us more viable options. So they get into top issues we're addressing next and into the future. When they start to say into the future, I don't necessarily expect everything that comes in the next couple paragraphs to be in the next update, but maybe some of them are. So difficulty balancing, kind of a divided topic when you start talking to people. They know that players want to feel like the odds are stacked against them. They want to be really immersed in the grounded, tense setting with challenging difficulty to match that fantasy. You want to feel like desperate survivors, like real people who are dealing with an active zombie apocalypse emergency. Some overwhelming feedback that they got from the player base after the Reanimation update was that the immersion was basically kind of broken when zombie spawns felt illogical or overly aggressive. This would be from zombies kind of spawning in way too close. You may be spending 30 seconds to kill 3 zombies to have 3 more zombies on you within seconds. That sort of thing, and it looks like they're trying to address that. So for May's update, they are looking to rebalance the zombie spawns to create a better pacing and intensity and less of a sense of cheap deaths. Right now, they're only targeting classic difficulty, not hard or nightmare. I think in general that makes sense. You want to give some easier experience for people that are learning the game or just don't want to purely 100% sweat through their playthroughs every single game. But you also do have a percentage of the population that kind of wants that difficulty and even more than they're getting right now. So it looks like they're trying to address that. My big concern right now is that you don't choose your difficulty. Hopefully that will come in the future. If not this update. So they're letting us know ahead of time that not everything's going to be addressed or perfect in this May patch. They're basically going with the iteration approach, balancing all of this out. They're going to try things. If it doesn't work, they're going to scrap it or retweak or whatever it takes, hearing what the players think, and iterate and iterate and iterate until they get that feel right. So if you didn't know, the previous update brought in Combat 2.0, which was basically a complete and total rewrite of the combat system, especially the melee combat system. It has a lot of moving parts, and just like they were saying before, they're probably going to need to iterate on this a few times to kind of hit that perfect feels just right mark. They also feel that melee combat balancing is deeply tied to zombie spawn balancing, so every change that they make, they're going to try to take carefully going forward. They're kind of letting the players know that their feedback's been heard here, but they know that not every strike maybe intuitively feels exactly as you expected to see the damage, the stagger, and just the results you were expecting. And that there's clear meta chopping off the legs kind of developing, and that maybe other weapons need to be brought up to snuff. They let us know that there should be some slight melee balance changes that we can expect to see in 0.4.1 Reanimation Plus, but they're going to continue to work on this over time. Again, just continuing with the theme here, kind of repeating themselves, hey, we heard you. A general feeling is that the rewards for surviving and extracting sometimes doesn't feel quite rewarding enough. And that, again, they're going to look to add to that experience in Reanimation Plus. They're going to look at the costs of loadout items and possibly even adding more to the availability of what you can purchase, hopefully coming in this next update. We knew this as they launched loadout. They basically planned on loadout starting light and adding to it. And I think that's what we're going to see in this next update coming up. So another big complaint is players being worried about losing their permadeath characters, especially to a crash or a disconnect or in-game bugs. They always feel kind of terrible when you kind of got yourself cornered and chewed on by a few zombies. You can blame yourself pretty easily, but when the game kind of messes up, it feels a little worse. Yes, it's early access, but they are working on trying to clean up those connection issues and bugs and all of that so that you don't unfairly lose your character. So since early access launched back in October, the game's performance has improved quite a bit, but there's still work to be done. The free weekend and feedback from a much larger group of players is definitely reprioritized the game optimization issue, and they expect to continue this going on even beyond the next update. So quickly, I'll remind you, this is kind of next updates and beyond, next focuses and beyond. So we're not getting more maps next month, but it is obviously on the to-do list as we approach that 1.0 launch. So in April's Reanimation update, they brought us Lewiston and Pottsville, both tighter, claustrophobic, classic zombie settings in those little small towns, a lot more elbow to elbow than the power plant setting was. They're happy with the direction they're going with the 3 maps now, but they plan on adding more locations as time goes on. They remind us that we will not have to wait as long for the 4th map as they did for the 2nd and 3rd. So what does that mean? It took us, 6 months to get these 2 maps? I know that a while back, the 2nd map was codenamed Hospital, so they probably have some fair amount of work into that before they kind of switch directions to kind of meet the more old school, claustrophobic, little towns, like maps that maybe were more like previous maps in the original No More Room in Hell. So I don't know. I don't want to put words in their mouths, but I'm thinking 2 or 3 months. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So they talk about onboarding new players a little bit. They remind us that No More Room in Hell 2 is meant to be a challenging and intense survival experience. But especially after that free weekend, they're aware of the fact that the game is not really preparing players for the mechanics and strategies they're going to need to implement to kind of survive the zombie apocalypse here. The game is much more about scraping by and surviving rather than going Rambo on the horde and just standing over a pile of zombies victorious. You're really kind of just trying to avoid them, run away, live, just barely get away. You know what I mean? So they're trying to figure out ways to kind of onboard the players a little bit more. I know even for me, having played the game for a while, 0.4.0 Reanimation was quite a shock in difficulty for me. And I've played quite a bit, so I imagine that the experience could have been very similar for new players. So the last point they bring up here is they know that people kind of want to play it their own way. Everyone wants to feel a little bit of agency over how to play, how to enjoy the game. Maybe there's not just you should be using an edged weapon and chopping off their legs, and that's the only way you should be playing. Maybe you don't need to take these 3 skills and perks. Maybe there's stealth is a little more reintroduced. Just different ways to accomplish surviving. Again, I think they're just letting us know that they heard this feedback. I'm not seeing a lot here in terms of tangible, this is what we're doing, but it's definitely on the radar. And then just in summary, the team is continuing to work on content, features, and improvements all around for the game. Stay tuned for further roadmap updates. And I guess on that note, I'll remind you that we're also trying to cover that here on the channel, here on YouTube and on Twitch. Likes, subscribes, follows, comments really help with the algorithm, getting this content out to other people that the algorithm's not pushing it out to. So if you could spend a second to do any of those things, I'd greatly appreciate it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Interested in seeing more? Here's another video on your screen. If you liked anything you saw, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing, or sharing your thoughts in the comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.